Many of you have seen or heard about TLC's show, Sister Wives. The show features 4 women and 1 man in a happy polygamous relationship. The show is mesmerizing in a way that when it's edited, the household seems not only normal and relatable, but the wives also use language of choice to make it clear that their lifestyle is a conscious decision. However, the stark reality is that most polygamous relationships do not come about this way. Most polygamous relationships in the United States are based on inequality, indoctrination, power, and fear. Through consulting a number of scholarly resources and news articles, I have found that the physical and emotional abuse within polygamous marriages is a hidden problem that must be addressed with action immediately. Today we will take a look at the true problem of abuse within polygamous marriages. Then we will see how conditioning and secrecy has caused this problem. And finally, I will show you how we can use the model of one organization to help these women and children. So abuse within polygamy is common. For example, take the case of Andrea Johnson. According to Salt Lake Tribune's 1998 article, Kingston Trouble, Andrea lived in a polygamous community and participated in an arranged marriage to her half-brother at the age of 15. Soon she became pregnant, and 5 months into the pregnancy, her kidneys stopped working properly, and she began exhibiting signs of hypertension. No one would take her to the hospital, though, out of fear of determining that her half-brother Jason was the father. When Andrea was finally brought to the hospital, after 2 weeks of suffering, her brain hemorrhaged, and she died. As you can see, child marriage, incest, and lack of medical attention within polygamous communities is a problem. According to MSNBC.com's 2008 article, in 2008, Texas state officials took custody of 463 children from Yearning for Zion Ranch in El Dorado, Texas. Here in this PowerPoint, you can see the children getting onto the bus, and you see most of the girls are in their early teens. Officials discovered that 60% of underage girls living on the ranch either had children or were pregnant. Child abuse is rampant within polygamy and needs to be addressed. Otherwise, it will continue. But why have women and children of polygamy put up with this abuse? The answer is that they are kept away from the rest of society and conditioned to believe that this is the only way of life. According to Jonathan Turley, professor of public interest law, in his 2004 USA Today article, there are 50,000 polygamists in America, and all colonies practice secretly outside the rest of society. Here, hundreds of children are homeschooled and kept away from any public education that might challenge their family's views on polygamy or teach them to recognize abuse. They are also members of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which believes that polygamy brings glorification in heaven. The elderly leaders are seen as prophets. Now, children see these leaders like rock stars and yearn for their love and attention, which comes in the form of marriage. Now, leaving a polygamous marriage would result in denial of salvation. So, for them, it is necessary to continue to live with any abuse. Rowena Erickson, a previous member of the Kingston clan, is quoted by John Llewellyn in his 2004 book, Polygamy Under Attack, as saying, "Women who leave polygamous marriages are frightened. You're taught you're nothing without your husband." So Rowena experienced firsthand the dangers that existed within polygamy, and she also knew how confused women exiting it were. So she, along with 3 other women, created the organization Tapestry Against Polygamy. Now, Tapestry is an organization taking the first steps towards stopping abuse within polygamy. Like our local YWCA shelter, they actually set up a place where women exiting polygamy can go. According to their website, tapestry.org, which was last updated in 2009, they also provide relocation, group support, group counseling, and educational material. They say they have three main goals: advocate to end human rights violations due to polygamy, educate about polygamy and the needs of families exiting this, and support and assist families through a network of community and private services. So this organization is out there advocating for these women and educating the public about their needs. Now, I'm going to propose that we take this organization as a model and take it one step farther by actually bringing it to the polygamous communities. We can teach children to recognize the signs of abuse by requiring classes within these communities and making a counselor available to women and children. They will be able to speak to this counselor and tell them about any signs of abuse and have an outlet to the outside world. Also, creating specific legislation that goes after crimes such as educational neglect of children, medical neglect, and sexual assault will reduce these crimes and give people their rights back. Now, here in this PowerPoint, you see some of the sects that are in the western portion of the United States. As you can see, there is one close by here in Pringle, South Dakota, which is actually an offshoot of the El Dorado clan that I spoke of earlier. According to Kiloland.com's May 15, 2006 article, they are also known for their secrecy. They are located 10 miles outside of town and 5 miles from the nearest pavement. Now, they actually have no allegations of abuse yet, but I propose that we implement these tactics that I'm speaking about before it's too late. In conclusion, polygamy, or physical and emotional abuse within polygamous marriages, is a hidden problem that needs to be addressed with action immediately. Today we took a look at the true problem of abuse within polygamous marriages. Then we saw how conditioning and secrecy has caused this problem. And finally, I proposed advocacy, education, and support that should actually be brought to polygamous communities. I urge you to help stop the abuse that occurs within polygamous marriages by either donating to Tapestry or contacting government leaders in Utah, Arizona, Texas, and South Dakota. Request that they initiate new specific legislation. All that's needed is a simple call or email. You can stop the abuse, inequality, and lack of choice that so many women and children of polygamy encounter. Give them the rights they deserve.